Back when Jesus lived here on planet Earth 2,000 years ago, he had this uncanny ability to simplify life. In fact, he took the entire Old Testament of the Bible and boiled it down to two simple commandments. He said, number one, we should love God with all of our heart, with all of our soul, and with all of our strength. And number two, we should love our neighbor as ourselves. And then he followed up by saying, everything that God wants for your life hangs on those two things. Now, in Silicon Valley, of the 2 million people who live here, 90+% of the people in our region don't attend church. That means that most people are not experiencing the peace and purpose that comes from knowing and following Jesus. Now, imagine what could happen if every follower of Jesus in our region took seriously the commandment to love our neighbors. Not the neighbors that live on the other side of the world, the neighbors that live on our street and in our apartment complexes. So I want to invite you to join us for a brand new teaching series, The Art of Neighboring, here at South Bay Church, where we will give you practical tools for loving your neighbor with the same love that Jesus has shown to us. And who knows, maybe you want to invite your neighbor to come and see what could happen if we all took seriously this idea of loving our neighbors. Okay, all right, ready? And then number two, to love your neighbor as yourself. And it's amazing when you start to think about what could happen if we did in our community who live right down the street and in our apartment complexes and down the neighborhood and all around from us. Take Jesus' commission to love their neighbor seriously and love their neighbor physically, love their neighbor. Hi, my name is Andy, and I want to take just a few minutes to share with you a little bit about our multi-site strategy. Back when Jesus lived here on planet Earth 2,000 years ago, he had this uncanny beast. I said beast. So imagine if the 2 million people who live in this region were impacted by the neighbors that live down the street from them. The good news about Jesus, but so few of us actually take the effort to physically love, to hug, to touch. The same love that Jesus has shown to us. Good. Is that good? Yeah.